Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
That's right, boys and girls. You're joining me live on another ProBoh Show. This time, a special After Dark episode. So exclusive to you delightful, delicious little podcast downloaders, the angelic ones. How you doing? A big good morning to Eugene, joining us all the way from Russia, who's a little drunk, he says. To Vero, good evening, beautiful bohemians around the universe and beyond. Who else do we have? We have Ern here. How you doing, Ern Warrior? We have Rosa, we have Vero, we have Gemma, we have Carmen. Oh my God. Hello, friends, says Carmen. Cannot participate, but didn't want to miss this, as tomorrow there'll be no ProBoh. Sniff. Good afternoon, creatures of darkness, says Gemma. I love it. Creatures of darkness. Is that us now? Are we the naughty ones? I'm hearing the backing track very, very low. Let me see if I turn it up a little bit. All right. So let's see what's coming up in today's show, shall we? It is a fun one today. In today's 100 Humans, we asked them to name something you did in high school and still do at work. Nombra algo que hacías en la escuela secundaria y aún haces en el trabajo. In today's Complete the News, we'll find out why a man is lucky to be alive. He says, I'm lucky to be alive. Soy afortunado de estar vivo. And finally, in the first half of the show, we have a great unpopular opinion today. Unpopular as well, it seems. Creationism should not be taught in public schools or in schools at all. All right, creationism. I did define that on the Instagram. If I've got time later, I'll dig that out and read it to you. But first of all, friends, I'm here. You're here. Let's see what's going on in the world. All right, your consciousness, tu conciencia, your consciousness, that thing, that being, that inexplicable spark that makes you, your consciousness, apparently, can enter alternate dimensions while you're dreaming, scientist claims. Tu conciencia puede entrar en dimensiones alternas mientras sueñas, afirma un científico. That would explain why Ana de Armas hasn't been in touch in real life, friends. That would explain that. A recent theory suggests that during dreams, human consciousness may enter alternate dimensions. David Leong, a metaphysicist academic, builds on quantum theories proposing that sleep allows the mind to bypass time and space constraints, offering glimpses into parallel realities, he speculates. He speculates that recurring dreams might signify interactions with other versions of ourselves, although this concept is speculative. It offers an intriguing perspective on the connection between dreams and the quantum nature of reality. Oh, David, go home, you're drunk. Go home. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Maybe. But you know what I mean? Does my dog dreams? Does my dog enter an alternate reality where they're doing nothing but chasing rabbits? Yeah, I reserve my right to judge. Guys, I really do love you, says Eugene. Oh, Eugene, we love you too.
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Yeah, some of my buttons aren't working, so bear with me. We can say Eugene is drunk, says Vero. Yeah, it seems that way. Just a little bit, says Eugene. All right, next piece of news. This is from Japan, so you know it's going to be a little odd, right? A new agency has arisen. A new type of agency has arisen in Japan. Hang on, wait, very quickly. Ern says, Ana de Armas exists for real, or she's just spam? Yeah, she's so perfect. She has to be AI. She has to be created by AI, doesn't she? All right, here we go. They've refused to let me go. Se negaron de dejarme ir. They refused to let me go. Japanese workers turn to resignation agencies to quit jobs. Los trabajadores japoneses recurren a agencias de renuncia para dejar sus trabajos. What? Imagine being so highly valued by a company. They were like, no, don't go. Anytime I've quit a job, it's been more like, yeah, there's the door. Please leave immediately. In Japan, a growing number of resignation agencies are helping employees quit their jobs without confronting their employers. These agencies, which charge a fee, handle the resignation process for workers, including contacting their bosses and returning company property. The trend highlights dissatisfaction with Japan's traditional work culture, where long hours and loyalty to a company are highly valued. Workers, especially younger ones, are increasingly prioritizing work-life balance, and these services provide a convenient solution for those who wish to leave toxic work environments. It's difficult to know what consists of a toxic work environment, especially, like, I'm 46, I've been working since I was like 15. Like, by traditional definition, I have never been in a healthy, nurturing work environment, and I've never had any semblance of work-life balance. Does that ring true for any of you guys? And I, to a certain extent, admire these younger generations who have a bit tighter control over all that, I'm going to be honest. Do you know what I mean? If given the choice, entering the workforce, they'd have asked you, what would you rather do? Slave away for the better part of 60, 70 years? Slave away, then retire, possibly, at our age, right? Possibly. Who knows if we'll retire? Retire with living on a minimum income, having wasted the most precious years of your life. Or, perhaps not earn so much, work in a healthier environment, have better work-life balance. I mean, let's not forget, right? Work is still the second thing you say about yourself when you meet someone new, right? The questions are, hi, what are you called? And second question, what do you do? Are we right to tie so much of our self-worth, our identity to our jobs? Should it be different? Should we be tying more of our identity to what we do in our home life? Eesh, tough one. All in life is about spending it working? No way, says Ern. Yeah, I have to agree, man.
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Corporate alligator. In Japan, they have a bully culture in the workplace. So what is actually toxic over there? Or just part of the culture? The bridge is with us. Hi, I almost missed my beautiful bouncy bohemians. Not for me, she says. Yeah, Bridge is living her best life right now. She's not working. Yeah, no, Cristobal has the restaurant. She just does her. I love that. And she spends all day listening to our shows, so even better. Final piece of news from a scientist I believe is probably going to get cancelled. Here we go. Okay, so this piece of news is from scipost.org. Women's gossip disguised as concern, disfrazado de preocupación, harms reputations while protecting the gossiper. El chisme de las mujeres disfrazado de preocupación daña reputaciones mientras protege a quien chismea. A new study reveals that gossip, framed as concern, benefits the gossiper while harming the target's reputation. Women in particular use this tactic in social and romantic contexts where the gossip is cloaked in care, perceived as more trustworthy and likable. Despite the seemingly benign approach, the gossip is still negatively impacts the target, especially in romantic scenarios. Dude, this rings so true with me. And we've all been there. We've all witnessed it. I'm so worried about Rob. He seems to be drinking more and he looks bad. And I'm so worried about how bad he looks and how much he's drinking. Yeah, this strategy of masking malicious intent with concern allows gossipers to maintain a positive image while subtly undermining others. This is actually a bit more of an interesting article than the summary there gives it credit. I would suggest you go and check that out for yourselves. And of course, how do you do that? It's very simple, my friends. Just go to my Patreon, and every time I upload a post, it goes up there with all my links. Patreon.com/professional bohemian. All right, guys, let's do it. Let's go to today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
I'd rather admire the new generations for their outlook in this respect. Yeah, me too. I admire them too, Bridge. It's not groundbreaking, but it's certainly wisdom beyond their years. I wish work-life balance had been in the public zeitgeist when I was a lot younger. That's for sure. Okay, so here's today's unpopular opinion. Today's brain fat: creationism should not be taught in public schools at all. Creationism should not be taught in public schools at all. Now, creationism. Let's separate these two concepts, right? Because there is the parable, the myth, the story, the religious doctrine of Adam and Eve. I personally have no concern, no qualm about kids learning that in that context. Creationism is something different. Creationism is something that's taught alongside science as an alternate theory. Let me just break down. Let me just give you this little paragraph that I got from Google. Creationism: the belief that the universe and living organisms originate from specific acts of divine creation, as in the biblical account, rather than by natural processes such as evolution. So creationism should not be taught in terms of as an alternate theory to the scientific theory of the Big Bang, evolution, etc. That's what we're debating today. Okay, and there are pros and cons to this one. First of all, let's find out how they voted on... Oh. Jeez, elves, chill out, man. Let's find out how they voted on Instagram. So I made the statement that creationism, el creacionismo, no debería enseñarse en las escuelas públicas en absoluto. Creationism should not be taught in public schools at all. And Instagram said 69% false. Oh damn. So are we clear, right? There is a difference between teaching religion in the context of a moral framework, in the context of parables. There is a difference between religious studies and then teaching religion as if it was science. All right, I just want to be clear on that because I am a big believer in teaching religion in schools. I think kids only benefit from understanding in a more clearer way the myriad of world religions, not just Christianity, not just the Muslim faith, not just Hindu. Like I was enriched by that as a child, and it was one of the things that I enjoyed the most at school, even though my atheism started quickly. But where I do kind of want to pull on the brakes in society is when creationism is taught as an alternative to science. So let's get into the argument, shall we? As always, I thoroughly tortured the elves this morning, and they gave me some pros and cons, friends. Let's get into them now. Here we go. First point: separation of church and state. Teaching creationism in public schools violates the principle of the separation of church and state, which is a core value in many democratic societies. Public schools funded by taxpayers of all religious beliefs should remain secular. Since creationism is rooted in specific religious beliefs, teaching it in schools may be seen as an endorsement of one particular religion, which would be unconstitutional in countries like the United States. Let me just catch up with the chat here. Men gossip too. It's called the barber shop. It would be so much easier being a man if we were allowed to, if we gave each other permission to gossip in the bathroom, instead of it being a place where you just can't make eye contact and don't talk. Hey, Jim, how's it going? Whoa, had a curry last night. I don't know. I rather admire the new generations. Eugene says, the more women that gossip about me, the better, says Eugene. P.T. Barnum once said, I don't care what people say about me as long as they spell my name right. Vero here says, false. Being religious isn't a bad thing. Everyone needs to believe in something. Creationism is a religious way to understand why every creature is on earth. Rational people should be able to distinguish between creationism and religion. I agree with that last point a great deal. And I think when presented the ideas of creationism, I think the decision whether that is a scientific fact would be better left until they're adults. but presented in the context of a religious belief, I don't mind it so much at all. Warrior says, religion gives the right answers to the universe clues. Not. And Eugene, guys, I'm an anti-religious man. Okay, anyway, let's continue. So, separation of church and state. Next in the pro column, lack of scientific basis. Creationism is not supported by empirical evidence or the scientific method, making it inappropriate for science classrooms. Remember, creationism is taught in science, in the context of science, right? Public schools should prioritize evidence-based education, focusing on theories that are widely accepted and supported by the scientific community. Evolution, which is based on extensive research and data, is a scientific theory, while creationism is a belief system. Teaching creationism in science classes undermines scientific literacy by presenting religious beliefs as if they are on a par with scientific fact. This, I understand, is going to be quite alien for European people. For anyone joining us outside of the US. I think this is going to sound a little alien. Why is he anti-religious? I'm not anti-religious. I'm actually quite fascinated by religion and religious doctrine from all over the world. But I do take kind of issue with it being taught in science. That's when I take, a little bit of an umbrage with it. Corporate Alligator, presenting only scientific theories might restrict exposure to differing worldviews, limiting open dialogue about human origins. Again, I disagree. I'm not saying eradicate the creation myth. Hell, teach kids every creation myth that exists on the planet. But don't teach them it in science, right? Teach them it in a different cultural studies, whatever you want, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Science is about the exploration of the scientific method and science as it's evolved and theories as they've evolved over time. In that specific class, when we're talking about what we know for sure and the theories we have with regards to scientific method, I think that class is for that. And a cultural exploration into creation myths belongs in a culture or a religious class. Hopefully that makes sense, my point of view on this one. Aldous Huxley said clearly in Oxford lecture, says Earn Warrior. Min says eradicate the creation myth, got it, Rob. And Eugene says, I disagree. All right, anyway, let's continue. Confusion between science and religion. Introducing creationism into public school curricula could blur the line between science and religion, confusing students about the differences between faith-based belief systems and evidence-based scientific inquiry. Students need to understand how the scientific method works, including hypothesis testing, peer review, and evidence collection. Teaching creationism in schools would foster misconceptions about the nature of scientific theories and the process by which scientific knowledge is developed. Next point, diversity of religious beliefs. Public schools serve students from diverse religious and cultural backgrounds. Teaching creationism, which is specific to certain religious traditions, primarily Christian, could alienate students from other faith beliefs, such as those who practice Islam, Hinduism, or atheism. Public education should be inclusive and respectful of all students, and teaching one particular religious viewpoint could lead to feelings of exclusion and unfairness. Final point in the pro column, agreeing that creationism, this subject that is specifically taught alongside science in the same class, proposed as an alternate theory, and it is not theory, it's faith. Okay? Final point, focus on critical thinking. One of the goals of education should be to encourage critical thinking and analytic skills in students. Teaching creationism, which often requires acceptance of certain religious texts without question, may discourage students from questioning or analyzing information critically. Science education, on the other hand, encourages students to think critically, evaluate evidence, and question assumptions. Focusing on specific theories like evolution fosters a more rigorous academic environment. Oof. Knew this was going to be a difficult one today. Number one, difficult to fit inside a European mind because we are taught the tenets of creationism as religious myth, right? Or as kind of part of a religious faith. We are taught about Adam and Eve. We're taught about the days of creation and when God did these things. But we taught them in parable form, outlining what was God's plan in the Christian faith, right? We were taught them in that context. And in that context, I completely agree with learning the creation myth, all right? I completely agree with it. Where I don't think it belongs is in science class, and that's where creationism comes in, right? Anyway, let's continue. Eugene says, I disagree, but I love you guys. Eugene's a little drunk. Eugene, I encourage that behavior. All right. Bridge says, yes, Rob, children need to be exposed to as much as possible and as many different slants. I went to a Roman Catholic school and religion was an overview of all religions. Me too, Bridge. And it was great. I went to a mosque. I learned about the Hindu gods, like fascinating, entertaining stories and myths from that tradition. Obviously learned all the Christian traditions as well. And that's where that knowledge belongs, in that context, not in the context of science. Corporate Alligator says, science education is based on empirical evidence, a scientific method and peer-reviewed research. Teaching evolution, for example, is rooted in biological and geological evidence. Substituting creationism, which is faith-based, could undermine an evidence-based approach. From Corporate Alligator. I agree that kids should be taught the facts in science classes. I'm not anti-religion either. I'm sure there's someone that controls everything and makes it happen. What is it? Energy, karma? I don't know. That's from Vero. Yeah. And that's a perfectly good stance. You know, perhaps even in religious education, they should delve more into tenets of spirituality, which is interesting sub-religion that kind of pulls on elements individually. You can kind of go make your own religion, like Build-A-Bear. And I'm all about that. Teach them that, but leave it in that context. Don't present it as if it were a fact, right? Okay, let's get into the con arguments, right? The losers in the Instagram debate saying creationism should be taught in public schools. Okay, point number one, freedom of thought and inquiry. Excluding creationism from public school curricula may limit students' exposure to different viewpoints and ways of thinking. Not if it's presented in a different place. But anyway, I continue. Including creationism in discussions about the origins of life allows students to be exposed to multiple perspectives, encouraging open-mindedness and intellectual curiosity. Education should not focus on one worldview, but it should offer students the opportunity to explore various ideas. Again, but you wouldn't advocate for teaching a child woodwork in home economics class. You wouldn't advocate for teaching, I don't know, The Last Supper as part of a history class, or perhaps you would, I don't know. But I think there are certain things that belong, like everything in school belongs in the place that it belongs, right? I think you don't do, I don't think you do kids any justice or any credit by presenting something that is not proved empirically in a science class. I just don't. Respecting religious beliefs. In society where religion plays an important role, many families may feel that excluding creationism from education undermines their religious beliefs. By teaching creationism alongside evolution, schools can acknowledge and respect the values and beliefs of religious communities, ensuring that religious families feel represented in the education system. This promotes inclusivity for students whose families adhere to creationist beliefs. This is where we get into some muddy water. Now, I hold the feelings I do with regards to creationism. And I'm going to be honest with you. I hold those feelings because I'm an atheist. And I believe science belongs in the realm of science and religion belongs in the world of religion. So perhaps I here am not seeing the injustice in teaching science in a science class because, you know, I believe in science. Let's see. Bridge here says, no, Rob, the Last Supper would be home economics, surely. Oh, my God.
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Today, kids, we're going to make bread and wine. Don't worry if you don't have enough. We'll just make it multiply on its own. Corporate Alligator presenting both creationism and evolution could encourage students to think critically, compare different perspectives, and engage in deeper discussions about nature, of science and belief and knowledge. I agree, but why do you benefit anywhere by teaching creationism alongside evolution? I don't understand where the benefit is. I really don't get it. Those same conversations could be had in a religious studies context or in a cultural studies context where they have more valor and more value. Vero says, I'm also baptized. Bridge said, yeah, she's baptized. I missed that one. Where were you? I'm baptized Roman Catholic, but since I went away, no longer have faith. I now have absolute knowing. This is something I've always wondered. I'm also baptized and given last rites, but this is something I've always wondered. Anyway, let's continue. Balanced education. Some argue that creationism could be taught or should be taught as part of a balanced education that presents different perspectives on the origin of life. Instead of solely focusing on evolution, which is a scientific theory, schools could include creationism in social studies or philosophy classes to expose students to various belief systems. This approach wouldn't promote creationism as a science, but rather as one of many worldviews. Exactly. That's where it belongs. Okay, final 2 points here. Encouraging debate and dialogue. Including creationism in education can lead to healthy debate and dialogue in the classroom. Students should be encouraged to engage with different perspectives. I would say under the caveat that it's taught alongside other creation myths. Final point here. Cultural legacy. Many works of literature, art, and history are influenced by religious ideas, including creationist theories. Teaching creationism could contribute to students' cultural literacy by helping them understand the historical and cultural significance of religious beliefs. Even if it's not presented as science, teaching creationist narratives in the context of history or culture helps students appreciate the influence of religious ideas on society. Look, you can only teach creationism in history if you're talking about things like the Council of Nicaea, when the books of the Bible were put together. Happened in ancient Greece. Okay? You can only teach it in those contexts because it is not history, is it? I'm sorry, I don't want to get too far into the weeds of my own religious beliefs, friends, but I don't believe the universe or the world was made in 7 days. You know? I just don't. I believe it was a process that took millions of years. I believe that the human species has been here for a few minutes, a minuscule amount of time in the history of the planet, you know? And why do I believe those things? Well, you know, because I paid attention in science class. Because I keep up to date, as you well know, being a fan of this show, with the latest scientific discoveries and things like that. I appreciate everyone's religious beliefs. And you know what? I don't want to take anything away from anyone. But if we're going to teach religion, let's do it in a context where it belongs, in a religious class, in a cultural context, rather than present it as fact. Okay, but that's just my opinion, guys. I'm going to post a poll in the chat, and you are going to tell me creationism should not be taught in public schools. True or false, friends? So many things you could have been doing right now. Instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me, and it means the world. See you soon. Hey guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professionalbohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professionalbohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professionalbohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, ProBoh. Okay, on with the show.
The ProBoh Show!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. How are you doing out there, my friends? If you've just tuned in, what did you miss? Well, we looked at an interesting an interesting and somewhat sexist article from SciPost saying women's gossip disguised as concern harms reputation while protecting the gossiper. It's actually a little bit more of a nuanced and interesting article than that. Obviously, I'll post the link on my Patreon so you can see it for yourself. We looked at an interesting study from a scientist, or an expressed opinion by scientist David Leong, saying that your consciousness can enter alternate dimensions while you're dreaming. I want to go to that Ana de Armas dimension, please, tonight, if you're listening out there. They can refuse to let me go. Japanese workers turn to resignation agencies to quit their jobs. Yeah, how difficult for you must it be to avoid? How much must you want to avoid confrontation where you go to an agency to quit your job? I mean, surely quitting your job is a little bit of a jubilant moment where the power balance shifts, right? I've quit my job a few times. And there's that beautiful moment. Hi, boss, can I speak to you? I don't really have time. Is it going to be quick? Oh, it'll be quick. Do you want to sit down? Yeah, here's my resignation. I'll be leaving at the end of the month. See you later. To see that power balance shift. Oh, dude, that's a beautiful thing. Japan, trust me on this one. Don't go to an agency. Do that yourself. Could Lordy, did I say Lordy? Could Lordy be translated as Diosito? Diosito mio, maybe. Maybe, Bridge, I don't know. Let's give you a round of applause anyway. All right, and then we moved on to today's unpopular opinion, which was creationism should not be taught in public schools at all. Difficult. At all is a big, very encompassing opinion, isn't it? At all. Right? It's not like we're saying, shouldn't be taught in science. We're saying at all. Creationism. Let's look at some comments I received, shall we? On Instagram. Let's see, where are we? Lisa says, I definitely agree. Schools should be teaching science, not religion. Creationism doesn't have a place in science classroom. It's just not based on evidence like evolution. Yeah, I agree, Lisa. I agree completely and wholeheartedly, but at all? Should we not be exposing kids to different cultures? Different ways of, here's the thing. Now, creationism, before when it was just the creation myth, before it became creationism, the alternate to evolution, back when it was a creation myth, this would have been so much easier to debate, right? It would have been, why the hell not? Who does it hurt? Let's learn all the creation myths. Let's not just stop at the Christian ones. Let's learn them all. The problem arises when it starts elbowing its way into a science classroom. So I kind of agree with you there. Mark says, I don't know. I think there's room for both. Evolution is science, but creationism is part of a lot of people's beliefs. Maybe it could be taught in a different class, like philosophy or world religions. Yeah, it would. Here's the thing: what philosophical merit does the creation myth have? No, you can get anything you want done if you work hard enough for 7 days. Is that? I mean, what is the parable? What is the lesson in creationism, other than the fact that a lot of people believed this as fact a long time ago? Yeah. I mean, I don't want to poo-poo too many people's beliefs, but this is a after dark show, and as you know, so that's where these kind of things are for. Nina says, I'm torn. I think it's important for kids to be exposed to different ideas, but creationism shouldn't be taught as a fact. Absolutely. Maybe as part of discussion about different belief systems. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, we had religious education at school. And it was a Roman Catholic school, but we learned about all religions, and it was one of my favorite classes. It was awesome. Final one here. Jake says, no way. Public schools are supposed to be secular. If you start teaching creationism, you're crossing a line. Keep it in religious spaces, not in a science class. Woo. Yeah. Keep it in church, I guess he's saying, right? And outside of a science classroom. I mean, okay. Yeah, what worries me is, we expose kids to religion so soon, so early in life, before they're equipped with making those decisions. But they're not exposed by the state. They're exposed usually by their upbringing, their families. Like, I was Roman Catholic just because my family was Roman Catholic, right? Then when I became old enough to make my own decisions on that kind of thing, I started to back off and explore, my own path in terms of garnering the knowledge that I have now. But I went to school, I went to church, I even went to the Boys Brigade, which was kind of a scouts that was linked to the Church of England church. So there were parts of that were religious. And you know what? It didn't do me any harm because everything was presented under the auspices of religion. Would I have come out any different if it was taught in science, alongside evolution, alongside the discovery of penicillin? Put away your Bunsen burners, kids. We're going to talk about how God created everything. If it's presented in that context, then perhaps I'm not being given the exact truth, right? I don't know. Let's see. No, Rob, you wouldn't need to be God to get anything done in 7 days. 7 episodes of the ProBoh Show. I can do that in 7 days. All right, anyway. So, yeah, it's a bit more of a nuanced, complicated discussion, isn't it, friends? It is. Because before we go to the results of the poll, I struggle to think of my education excluding any kind of religion from it. I went to a Roman Catholic school, so there were masses that I had to attend. There was a prayer at the beginning of assembly. There were crucifixes in the classroom, but there was no science. There was no religion in science class, and that speaks volumes to a kid. Then there was religious education class where we were taught about all religions. And I was nothing but enriched learning about different cultures, creation myths. Even today, like if I pick up a book and there's a part of some religion, some obscure religion that I've never heard of before, like a lot of the Native American creation myths are just beautiful and interesting. I'm immediately fascinated by that. And I find it enriching to learn about that kind of thing, but in the context of religion. So could I agree with an unpopular opinion that states the creation myth shouldn't be taught at public schools at all? I couldn't agree with that. But creationism being taught alongside science in a science class, that absolutely should not be taught in school, should it? If we can't really properly cordon it off and put it into its own, the place where it has the most value alongside other religions, myths, maybe in some kind of a philosophy class like our friend, was it Jake said? Philosophy, world religion, culture. Surely that's where it belongs. Where you can better understand the context, the historical context for these documents when they were read. So you can better understand how it fits into a global perspective in the world religions. So you can understand that these are parables that people have passed down over time before they got written into books. So you can understand how thousands of years ago it was what we had instead of science. In those contexts, then yeah, it is really valuable. But you don't care what I think. You care what you guys thought. So let's see what the results of the poll. So I made a poll for our live audience that said creationism should not be taught in public schools at all. And you guys said 71% true. Oh boy, we flipped the script on the Instagram poll. Well done, guys. I will leave off by saying this. There is certainly room to give kids something that is a little bit more than scientific fact, right? Because when we look at scientific fact, we're left with something that's quite cold and quite hollow sometimes. When it comes to the things that are really important to a kid, love, where's grandma? What does death mean? Where's grandma gone? All sorts of difficult life challenges where religion or parable or stories can jump in and take its place, take the place of what could be confusion or heartache. there is definitely room for that in a kid's life, and I certainly wouldn't want to take away any of that. And the creation myth, whether it be the Christian one, the Hindu, Muslim, whatever, the creation myth is certainly an interesting and beautiful story, isn't it? Would we want to take away that from kids? No. But I certainly say we should be presenting it in a light where it's more better seen, in the light of other religious texts, in a class dedicated to that kind of thing. But that's just my opinion, friends. And you know what Grandpa Bo would say about that? He would say, Rob, that's your opinion, and opinions, they're like buttholes. Everyone has one. They all stink, including yours. Let's move on to today's 100 Humans. Oh my God. It was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys. And on that walk, I encountered 100 humans. And I asked them all a question. Today's question was, name something you did in high school and still do at work. Okay, big thanks to Juan Carlos Vero, La Mala de la Película, Ivan, Pedro, Gemma Racino, Fabian, Pilar, that's all folks, and many, many more who have interacted with this on Instagram. All right, yeah, some interesting ones there. All right, your job in the chat is to identify the 7 answers, the top 7 answers. So name something you did in high school and still do at work. Algo que hiciste, o nombra algo que hacías en la escuela secundaria y aún haces en el trabajo. Ern says maths. Mathematicas. Maths. Is maths there? Yes, it is, Ern. Well done. Not all of them are subjects, by the way. A lot of them are just things that, you know, you do in school or did in school that you still do at work. This is the only kind of class, I guess, that appears. Okay, so maths is there. It is the 4th most popular answer, with 8 of 100 humans saying maths, mathematicas. All right, waking up early in the morning, says Vero. Waking up early in the morning. What is it? Waking up early. Despertarse pronto? Okay, waking up early. Is it there? Yes, it is. Forget about it. You're on fire, Vero. Working up early is there. 4 of 100 humans said that. 7th. Madrugar. Thank you, Vero.
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Madrugar. Waking up early. It's there. It's the 7th most popular answer. Well done, well done. And despertarse pronto? No. I suppose it's just a long way of saying madrugar. I should have known that. Now I hate myself. Rob, go home. I am home. Raz says reading. Reading. Is reading there? No, it's not. Great answer, though. Great answer, but it's not there. May have been the 8th most popular answer. Okay, what do we have? We've got wake up early. We have maths. Okay, let's continue. Listening to music. You listen to music at work? Corporate alligator. I'm so jealous. Is it there? No, it's not. Take a lunch in a box, says the bridge. Not me, of course, I don't work. It's taking your lunch in a box there. It's a great answer. No, it's not. All right, let's temprano, early, pronto, soon. Oh, God, yeah, despertarse temprano. My God. My bad, my bad. All right, let's, you get a nivelazo.
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Let's take a look at Instagram, shall we? Pedro from Instagram says, procrastinate. It's a great answer. Procrastinate. Is procrastinate there? Which I believe is procrastinar, no, in Spanish. Procrastinate. Yes, it is, Pedro, and it's the number 1 answer. Well done. Something went weird there with the humans. Stop pausing, humans. Yeah, procrastinate is there. Well done. Number 1 answer. Also on Instagram, well, Fabian says slack off, which is just another way of saying procrastinate. La Mala de la Película says dealing with bullies. Oh, sad, but still something you might have to do at work. Dealing with bullies. Is dealing with bullies there? No, it's not. Blow your nose, says Vero. Blow your nose. Ern says play sports. At work? We should be so lucky. Are they there? No, they're not. Oof, we're going to have to move on soon. Oh, let's see. Okay. You guys have identified maths, waking up early. Let me give you some, yeah, and procrastinate. Okay, you know, some people do this in an exam, but it's not a good thing to do in an exam. Or when you're playing cards. What am I talking about? It's not a good thing to do in an exam, or when you're playing cards. Something you did in high school and still do at work. Vero says cheating. Is to cheat there? Hacer trampa, cheat? Yes, it is. Well done. Second most popular answer, 23 of 100 humans. Earlier in this episode, we spoke about this thing that apparently women do, which is disguised as concern and harms reputations. But what was it that apparently women do, according to Dr. What was his name? The scientist, David Leon. Okay, Vero thinks she knows the answer. She says gossip, chismear, gossip. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. Gossip is there. You have two more left to identify. No one on Instagram got this one. Pilar had a good one. She says, take breaks. Take breaks. Gemma said, nothing. I don't do nothing. Math said Ivan. Calculations, languages, IT, PE, economics. All great answers, Ivan. None of them were there. Math said Juan Carlos. All right. Let's continue, shall we? Okay, there's two more left you haven't got. This is something you do. Oh, Ern says flirting. Ern, I bet you were a lady killer at school. Flirting, says Ern. Flirt, to flirt. Coquetear, is it? Or how do you say flirting? I used to know this. Aish, never mind. Anyway, flirting. Is flirting there? Yes, it is, Ern. Oh my God. I was about to give a clue for that one. Flirtear. Thank you, Vero. Oh,
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
although Vero also said peeing. Doing wee-wee. I did that at school. Do that now. Come on. Same thing. Peeing is not there. It's not there. Bwah, bwah, bwah. There is one thing that is there, and you're not going to get it, I don't think. So let's go through the list, shall we, my friends, so you can see the ones that you've missed. Hang on, wait, let me go to the next thing so you can see it. Okay, no, that's not it. God, I'm going to have to edit. Where the hell is it? Ah, there. Okay, here's the list. Let's go through it right now, shall we? Okay, here we go. In position number 7, we had to wake up early. Madrugar. Thank you, by the way, for the corrections. Or despertarse temprano. Thank you. The one you missed was at position number 6 was to daydream. Daydream. Soñar despierto. Daydream. Does that make sense? In position number 5, we had to flirt. Ligar. My God. Ligar. I'm going to give myself a nivelazo for getting that one. Come on.
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Ligar, flirtear, coquetear. Oh, God. How do I know so many words for flirt? I have no idea. Okay. Flirting was their 5th most popular answer with how many? With 8 of 100 humans saying to flirt. In position number 4, we had maths. Mathematicas. 8 of 100 humans said that one. In position number 3, we had to gossip. Chismear. Gossip in 3rd place with 17 of 100 humans. In position number 2, we had to cheat. Hacer trampa. Cheating. And finally, in position number 1, we had procrastinate. Well done. Dude, my whole school career could be summed up as procrastinating. All right, on that note, let's go to complete the news.
Complete the news.
Okay, my friends, you know how this works. This is Complete the News. I'm going to give you a real news headline, but I'm going to leave out some important information using the options I give you. You will complete the news. For those of you who are in the chat watching the show and not participating, friends, this section is designed for you. So you can participate in the show without feeling too self-conscious. So here we go. All you have to write is A, B, or C. Okay, here we go. In true After Dark fashion. Well, I won't spoil the surprise. Here we go. I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to be alive, says man who was attacked by a sexually frustrated blank. I'm lucky to be alive, says man attacked by sexually frustrated blank. This is coming from cinemetro.ca. ABC, I win, says Eugene. So I'm lucky to be alive, says man attacked by sexually frustrated blank. Estoy afortunado de estar vivo, dice hombre atacado por un blank sexualmente frustrado. Is it A, tiger, tigre? Is it B, a dolphin, delfin? Or is it C, a pit bull? The animal, not the reggaeton musician artist. A, B, or C? I'm lucky to be alive, says man attacked by sexually frustrated blank. Is it A, tiger, B, a dolphin, or C, a pit bull? Soy afortunado de estar vivo, dice hombre atacado por un blank sexualmente frustrado. A, B, or C. Okay. I don't know what Natch would say on this one, but you guys seem to be saying C, a pit bull. Not Mr. Worldwide, the dog. Okay. I believe Mr. Worldwide is Pitbull's thing. I'm not sure. We dreamt there. High school sweethearts. All right, here we go. A, B, or C. You guys say C, Pitbull. Let's see who's correct. Okay. I'm lucky to be alive, says man attacked by a sexually frustrated. The answer was B, dolphin. Only one person got that right in the chat, and it was the Bridge. Bridge, I don't even want to know how you got that right. I've seen these dolphins. Woo, boy. Okay, a man recounts a harrowing attack by a sexually frustrated dolphin, highlighting the potential dangers of interacting with these powerful marine animals and the importance of maintaining a safe distance. A man reports surviving by an attack by a bottlenose dolphin believed to be sexually frustrated, leading to increased public awareness of the potential threat posed by these animals. Experts, including Dr. Simon Allen, note that social and hormonal behaviors in dolphins can cause them to express aggression, sometimes resulting in harm to humans. The dolphin in question may have been ostracized by its community, seeking human interaction as an alternative. Incidents in the area have led to multiple injuries. Oh my God. I don't even want to think. My mind makes this a lot worse than it probably is. Where were we? Multiple injuries, with victims requiring medical treatment for cuts and abrasions. Authorities have issued warnings advising people to avoid close contact with dolphins and not to feed them. All right, there you go, friends. That was today's ProBoh Show. Let's just very quickly see what's being said here. Carmen says, "What?" Ern says, "In Florida?" Or asks, "In Florida?" Excuse me, says Vero. Whenever I connect to this channel, it's hard for me to know where I am. That was from Carmen the Bridge. Just imagination, Rob, but why would it be a tiger or a pit bull? All right, friends. Well, look, that's all we've got time for. We have another, as you know, this is a podcast exclusive to my people on Patreon, so you'll see this up there in a little while. A big thank you for turning up tonight. There will be another one on Wednesday afternoon, so don't miss that. I do enjoy these After Dark episodes. I hope you do too. So all that remains for me to say, my friends, is God, there are a million, a billion, an infinite number of things you could have been doing this afternoon. But instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me, and it means the world. Friends, I'll see you next time.